So, established RPG creators are probably asked this one question more than any other. What path did you follow to get where you are? I'm Teos Abadia, and this is the start of the show, Success in RPGs. On this show, we're going to talk about the paths that you can follow, as well as many other topics. And this question about paths is pretty important. A thing worth knowing is that it's a question that comes up both for new creators and for established ones. And that's because we all want to know what path to take. And when we see somebody do something cool, we want to follow that path and do it as well, right? The thing is, there isn't just one path, there are actually many paths. And the trick is finding the paths that you personally are going to enjoy traveling along, and that the destinations, the stopping points along the way, are going to be ones that really feel great to you. But we're not going to know what those are ahead of time. So, on this show, we're going to examine common paths, but we're going to do a lot more. Now, you may say, hey, Teos, why are you making success in RPGs? I have had so many creators who've helped me throughout my career, and I want to pay that forward. I want for writers and artists, developers, editors, and others to find success. And because of our industry, this is really important. We have a lot of pitfalls in this industry. If you look around, you will probably see over time creators, especially older ones, who have to turn to something like GoFundMe to cover sudden costs like healthcare, a fire, a car that breaks down. And think about that for a second, what it means that our hobby doesn't, even for somebody who's been around for decades, doesn't provide a way to deal with those kinds of financial necessities. Another pitfall that you can see is where we have somebody who achieves a measure of success, but they are not satisfied enough. They remain dissatisfied and immediately feel they've got to chase the next thing to see whether that brings them a feeling of success. People that you see as successful are probably asking themselves, hey, how can I be successful? On Success in RPGs, we're going to talk about these and other challenges. And at a high level, our focus is going to be to look at the reasons we create and how to make those healthy, the approaches we take to create and how to develop successful approaches. And third, the platforms and tools we use for creating and for promoting and how to use those effectively. Now, let's also take a look at the upcoming topics that we're going to cover on the show. How to find your creative passion, successful freelancing techniques, the financial truth of freelancing. That one is going to be really interesting. Measuring your progress, why you need a blog, and all the things that you can do with a blog that are tied into your larger goals. How to create your first product, how to sell on places like DriveThru, DM's Guild, itch.io, what it takes to start a podcast. Should you attend conventions? When and how to Patreon? And a lot more. This is a show that is for beginners, and it's for creators who started in the last couple of years. And it's also for veterans who say, hey, I probably should periodically re-examine my methodologies and see if my knowledge matches up to what's around today in terms of tips and approaches. You can watch these shows in order, but you can also skip around. We're going to layer some knowledge, but not so much that you can't just watch specific topics that interest you. We're also going to take a break from the topics that you saw to work through actual design. And this can serve as an example of the concepts that we were talking about. What are we going to design? So you can help me decide that. And you can help me actually steer this show in a lot of different ways. Join me on Patreon or Ko-fi and become part of our community to decide how success in RPGs evolves. Links are in the description below. I'll see you next time on Success in RPGs.